Hey there, everyone. Okay, so we just talked about finding a 1 point or a 2 point perspective space online that is royalty free or open source, and that Google Maps is maybe a place you could do a screen grab if you wanted to try it that way. Um, then from this image, we did a working map. I haven't finished mine out, but I will, and I'll post the final picture, trying to figure out where the vanishing point is and where that pinwheel sits and where we can drop the verticals to make that understanding of how this is built. Then we did a trace and transfer from our photo and laid out a quick sketch of our space, our cityscape, onto our Good Mix media board. I did mine kind of loose and gestural because I'm going to look at one of the examples on our example board that is a little bit calligraphic in its line work, but you can render this any way you want for your drawing. You can do it with graphite and do it slow with value shifts. You can do it fun and calligraphic with line work, any way you want. So I am going to go in and use a marker on mine, trying to decide which one. I think I'm going to use the brush pen. I'm going to have my picture nearby so I can see it, and I'm just going to try and make a fun contour study of the cityscape in 1 point perspective. Again, you can render yours any way you want. I'm just going to kind of keep mine a little loose and gestural. I'll erase my marker here in a minute. Not my marker, excuse me. I'll erase my fine charcoal. I'm going to definitely ask you guys to go back to one of our earlier units, the What Can Drawing Be, and look at and see how some of these, how drawings can be made so you can decide how you want to try and do your rendering. I'm excited to see what you pick. Some of you might really choose to do something that's a slower kind of value study. Some of you might use graphite or charcoal. This whole semester has really been, you know, like an introduction, or if you've done it before, like a reminder of different ways that we can make drawings. And so you can find your own kind of voice, but have that basic understanding of how to see space. It's kind of like drawing has two parts. One is seeing and understanding objects, and then the other is how do you render it. So again, I'm just kind of keeping mine really gestural. But because all the perspective lines are where they should be, the illusion should really work. I'm looking back at my source photo here and there to kind of make sure I'm putting lights and darks where I want them to go. Tapering out and opening and closing the line when I need to. I don't remember what was happening here. There's a doorway there. So again, you can do this with any of the methods and materials that we worked on all semester to see kind of how you want to come up with your own way to make it. Here are those little trees. Letting some of that white of the paper come through and using a hatching mark that I liked in one of my earlier drawings that I had done of the popcorn. Some trees on this side. There were a lot more trees in the way here, so it wasn't as much information. So I'm really going to rely on that sidewalk mark to kind of give me that sense of space. It's a little rooftop. Another tree. There we go. I'll leave this side a little more open, a little less detailed. I'm just going to leave it kind of like that for now. So again, you can make yours as complicated or as rendered as you want, or if you want to leave it a little more lyrical, that'll work too. I'll go in and erase out some of my leftover marks. Oops, I want to put these in there. There we go. So erase out some of that fine charcoal, that working drawing. And then I might go back and look at some of the example boards and see if I want to add any other kind of cool mark making to it to make it a little more complicated. But here I have a pretty simple 1-point perspective cityscape, and I can make sure that I have my vanishing point leading down to the right place from my earlier mapping study, look at my photo and see how I did, and now I have a fun little drawing. Notice too that I left it all open on the side so that white of the paper can kind of come in, and it's like that in a lot of our examples. Okay, so I'll look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. See you soon.